Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Wednesday, the 16th day of August, 2023, Wednesday of the 19th week of the year, the 19th week in Ordinary Time. And today, however, is an incredibly wonderful, glorious day. It is our glorious day of days. It is the first day of school at the Franciscan School. We have just completed morning prayer. Morning drop-off happened today. As you can see, our welcome banner right behind me. So another school year has begun for us here at the Franciscan School. Today's readings, appropriate in many ways for the first day for the first day of school. We have Deuteronomy, where Moses is given sight of the promised land as the Israelites are on the verge of stepping into it, and he is shown by God the amazing, wonderful extent of the promised land and all the lands that belong now to Israel, that God is giving to Israel. The thing is that Moses will not enter into the promised land because he hit a rock twice that was supposed to bring forth water. It was the water from the rock business, but it's a different water from the rock, I think, than the one that is often known. He hit it twice because the first time the water didn't come out, and so he figured he should hit it twice, and that meant that he didn't trust God, and so God punishes him by not allowing him to enter the promised land. Again, God's a bit vindictive, and so all of these wonderful things that Moses had to do and experience, and because he hit a rock twice, God says, you're not coming into the promised land. It's the same way again that people ate a piece of fruit that they weren't supposed to eat, and all of a sudden all heck breaks loose, and again, original sin, original sense. So again, God is different and difficult at times, it seems. But then Moses dies, and then Moses is buried, but we don't know where his tomb is because, again, that is secret to God. So again, and again, why is that done? Well, perhaps in a practical way, so that people will not worship Moses. So to remember that Moses was another piece in all of this, but that Moses is not the one who delivered. Moses is not the redeemer. Moses is not the one who brought freedom to Israel. It is God. So there's a wisdom that God has in doing that, perhaps. Joshua takes over, the reading goes on, and then it basically goes on to say that, again, because Deuteronomy is written at the time that it is, that no one as great as Moses has ever existed, and no one will ever exist. Well, that's until Jesus, and everybody else who follows. But they say it's because Moses saw God face to face and spoke to God face to face, which is true. No one else had ever done that in the Hebrew Scriptures before or since, when it comes to when it comes to relationship with God. And so, although Moses is not permitted to enter into the promised land, his burial place is secret, he is honored as being the greatest of all the prophets, until again Christ, as we believe in Christianity, and then the apostles, who not only spoke with Christ face to face, spoke with God face to face as speaking to Christ, but also walked and ate and experienced life with God face to face in that way. In the gospel today, a good gospel about, and again, that is kind of what we hope for our students here at the Franciscan School, again, that they continue to walk with God always, to experience God face to face, especially in each other, and out of that experience of God, that closeness of God that is built in their lives, that they continue to grow in faith, the power of faith, and the power of what it means to be a believer in this world. In the gospel today, we talk about forgiveness, and again, if you have a brother or sister who offends you, you go and try to correct them. If they won't listen, go find others, and and have them try to listen to them too. The whole idea is that you don't cut people off, or you only cut people off, unfortunately, when there doesn't seem to be any hope. But for God, there is always hope. And so you try your best to try to mend, what has fallen apart, to correct, what is problematic, and where there is pain and where there is need of healing. And you find others to be able to do so, to be able to help you understand that. And then Jesus goes on basically to talk about, again, where two or three are gathered, there Christ is in their midst. There I am, Jesus says, within their midst. And so in this great school that we have of over 660, I think we're approaching 670 strong. I mean, it's a lot of students, but because we are all together, so there is Christ, with us. And as we begin this new school year, we continue to pray that Christ, who is with us, who walks with us, who journeys with us, who talks with us, who learns with us, who teaches us, will be the one to help our students understand the wonder and beauty, not only of this world around them, but of themselves. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.